There's a man in Singapore who made $4 million last year. He doesn't own a company. He's not a tech founder. He didn't inherit money or flip houses or day trade crypto. He did something most people would consider boring, something invisible. And in 2026, tens of thousands of people are going to figure out how to do the same thing. But here's what nobody's saying out loud. The people who get rich doing this won't be the ones working harder. They'll be the ones who understood the map before everyone else showed up. Let me show you what I mean. Right now, there's a quiet structural shift happening in how wealth actually moves. Not wealth in the motivational poster sense, wealth in the cold mechanical sense. Money changing hands because of systems most people don't see. And 2026 is shaping up to be the year those systems crack wide open. You've probably heard the noise. AI is going to change everything. Remote work is dead. The recession is coming. Crypto is back. Crypto is over. Everyone's talking, but very few people are watching what's already happening in the corners. Because while everyone's debating whether AI will take their job, there's a growing group of people who've stopped asking that question entirely. They're asking a different one. What does AI make newly possible that wasn't possible 6 months ago? That question is producing some very strange answers. Let's start with the man in Singapore. His name is irrelevant, but his method isn't. He runs what's called a micro SaaS business, software as a service, except it's not the kind of SaaS you're picturing. No venture capital, no 10-person team, no office in San Francisco. It's him, one product, a scheduling tool for acupuncture clinics in Australia. That's it. He built it in 4 months using AI coding assistance. He's not a trained engineer. He learned enough to ship. The tool makes $73,000 a month, costs him $1,100 to run. He spends maybe 6 hours a week on it. Here's the part that matters. 3 years ago, building this would have required a team, investors, and probably 2 years of runway. The barrier to entry was technical skill, capital, and time. Today, all 3 of those barriers have collapsed. You don't need to be a developer anymore. The AI writes the code. You don't need investors. You can launch for the price of a gym membership. And you don't need years. You need weeks. The math has fundamentally changed. And in 2026, that math is about to get even stranger. Here's why. There are roughly 400 million small businesses on Earth. Most of them use terrible software or no software at all. They have problems that are too niche for a big company to solve, but painful enough that they'd pay a few $100s a month to fix. For decades, these problems went unsolved because it wasn't worth anyone's time. The economics didn't work. Building software was expensive. Marketing it was expensive. Supporting customers was expensive, but now AI handles the building, AI handles the customer support, and the marketing, that's shifting too. Paid ads are dying. Not literally, but the ROI is collapsing. Everyone's bidding on the same keywords. Meanwhile, organic content, SEO, and word of mouth in tight communities are becoming insanely efficient again. If you solve a real problem for a specific group of people, they tell each other. Suddenly, a one-person software business that targets orthodontists in Ohio or yoga studios in the UK is not just viable, it's wildly profitable. And almost nobody outside of certain forums and Discord servers has figured this out yet. So that's bucket 1, micro SaaS. Boring, profitable, scalable. But there's a second wave that's weirder. It's happening in the creator economy, except it doesn't look like the creator economy you know. It's not about going viral. It's not about brand deals or merch or Patreon. It's about synthetic scale. Let me explain. Right now, there are people building what you might call digital employees. AI agents that handle specific tasks, writing emails, booking sales calls, managing social media, editing video, researching competitors, analyzing data. These aren't full replacements for humans. They're narrow tools that do one thing well. But here's what's happening. Individuals are stocking these tools together and suddenly operating like a team of 20. A guy in Austin runs a newsletter with 200,000 subscribers. It generates around $40,000 a month in sponsorships and affiliate revenue. He has no staff. The newsletter is researched by AI, written mostly by AI with his edits, designed and scheduled by AI, the sponsor outreach, AI, the analytics and optimization, AI. He works maybe 15 hours a week. 3 years ago, building this newsletter required editors, designers, salespeople. Today, it requires one person who knows how to orchestrate tools. This is what synthetic scale looks like, and the people who master it early are going to have an absurd advantage. Because in 2026, the tools are getting better, faster, cheaper. The gap between someone who understands this and someone who doesn't is about to become a chasm. Now let's talk about what's not going to work. Everyone's trying to become a content creator. Everyone's launching a podcast or a YouTube channel or a TikTok account. And yes, some people will win, but the odds are brutal. There are 4 million podcasts. Most get fewer than 100 downloads per episode. There are 60 million YouTube channels. Most will never hit 1,000 subscribers. The platforms are saturated, the algorithms are unforgiving, and the time investment is staggering. What people don't realize is that content creation, as it's traditionally understood, is a lottery ticket. High visibility, low probability. The people getting rich in 2026 won't be chasing visibility, they'll be chasing leverage. Leverage looks like this. You find a problem that a specific group of people will pay to solve. You build or broker the solution. You automate as much as possible. You keep overhead near zero. You stack your time. It's not sexy, it won't make you famous, but it'll make you money while you sleep. Here's the uncomfortable part. This only works if you're early. Not first, but early. Once everyone figures out that you can build a micro SaaS in 3 months using AI, the competition will flood in. Once every freelancer realizes they can scale themselves with agents, the arbitrage disappears. Right now, we're in a narrow window. The tools are mature enough to use, but not widely understood. The playbooks are being written in real time. The people who move in 2026 will be building moats by 2027. The people who wait will be fighting for scraps. And here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Most people will wait. They'll wait for permission. They'll wait for perfect clarity. They'll wait until it feels safe. By the time it feels safe, the opportunity will be gone. Let's zoom out. What's really happening here isn't just about individuals getting rich. It's about a structural inversion. For the last 70 years, wealth creation was tied to institutions. You got rich by working at the right company or starting a company that could attract investors. Capital was scarce, distribution was scarce, talent was scarce. But now capital is cheap, distribution is free, and talent is being augmented by machines. The old model is breaking. The new model rewards speed, taste, and the ability to see around corners. You don't need a resume, you need proof. You don't need a network, you need leverage. You don't need permission, you need execution. This isn't motivational, it's mechanical. The system is rewiring itself, and the people who understand the new wiring will extract value that would have been impossible 5 years ago. So what does this actually look like in practice? It looks like someone who spent the last 6 months learning how to use Claude or ChatGPT not as a toy, but as a co-pilot. Someone who built 3 bad projects and 1 good one. Someone who picked a niche so narrow it sounds ridiculous and went deep. It looks like someone who stopped consuming content about entrepreneurship and started shipping. It looks like someone who realized that the gap between idea and execution has collapsed to almost nothing and decided to move before everyone else realized the same thing. Here's the irony. The way people will get rich in 2026 isn't new. It's not a hack, it's not a secret. It's the same thing that's always worked. Find a problem, solve it, scale it. What's new is the cost. It used to cost $100,000 in 2 years to try. Now it costs $1,000 and 2 months. That's the entire game. The barrier to entry is collapsing, which means the barrier to competition is also collapsing, which means the only real advantage left is speed and clarity of thought. The question isn't whether this will work, it's whether you'll move fast enough to matter. So here's where we are. 2026 is going to produce a strange new cohort of wealthy people. Not influencers, not celebrities, not unicorn founders. Just individuals who figured out how to build small, profitable machines using tools that didn't exist 3 years ago. They'll operate in the background. Most people won't know their names, but they'll be making more money than the majority of people climbing corporate ladders or chasing venture capital. And when people ask how they did it, the answer will sound boring. Because it is boring. Boring and ruthlessly effective. The uncomfortable truth is this. The people who get rich in 2026 won't be smarter than you. They won't work harder than you. They won't have better ideas than you. They'll just move while you're still deciding. And by the time you're ready, the map will already be crowded. The window is open, but it's closing faster than anyone's talking about.